Many years ago, quite high up in the mountains, tourists scrambled to the local railway to take in the sights and sounds. Duke enjoyed this time of year. He pulled a special train called the Picnic. It travels the beautiful landscape from midday to tea time. Duke loves this little trip and all of his passengers. One of his passengers was a regular, taking photographs and baking treats for the tourists. She was an old local woman called Marybeth and always had a smile on her face. "Good morning, Duke," she would hum happily on the daily. "Ready for a nice long run?" "Quite," Duke would reply as she climbed aboard. As they would travel along the line, Marybeth would serve treats out to the passengers. When they reached the final station, she would help set up the passengers' picnic where they would all snack down on whatever was brought up to the site. Her favorite was jam sandwiches. During this, she and Duke would have a light conversation. "How's your railway doing? How are you doing? Have you gotten younger?" were her frequent questions. "Quite well, thank you. I'm doing great." "And no, I haven't," he would respond every time. Stuart and Falcon never really understood their bond, but were never negative about it. "Since when did people care?" Falcon would grumble. "Since Marybeth joined," Stuart would reply. One afternoon, however, when Duke turned up with the coaches, Marybeth was nowhere to be seen. She never missed the picnic on Thursdays. "She might be running a little late," soothed his driver. "Don't worry, old boy. We'll wait another 10 minutes. I'm sure our passengers won't mind." However, no matter how long they waited, Marybeth didn't show up. Duke had no choice but to go on without her. He was not in a happy mood for the journey. It just didn't feel right without her, though he didn't grumble to upset the passengers. On the return journey, he passed her little cottage. The light was off. "Oh my," Duke whistled. "I hope she's okay." When they pulled into the end station, Duke began to worry. "Driver, fireman, can you go and visit her?" he pleaded. "Of course, we'll tell her how much you miss her." And with that, the two dawdled away. That night, in the sheds, Duke did not want to talk to anyone. He had asked his driver to check in on Marybeth and was awaiting a response. Stuart and Falcon didn't dare comment. His driver and fireman returned, much later than expected. "Driver, how is she?" he added with a smile. "Will she be here tomorrow?" "No, Duke." He shook his head. He began to look a little worried. What about the day after that?" "No, Duke." His driver took off his hat. "Her daughter gave us this." The fireman showed a piece of paper. On it, it read, "Duke's Jamtasicle Sandwiches," followed by a recipe. "So you never go without jam," he could hear her say in the wind. Duke didn't say anything as his crew walked away with the recipe. He tightened his eyes and forced himself to fall asleep. Sometimes things change. Time doesn't exactly stop for us. Duke continued to put on a brave face, even until today, where he makes sure the passengers on his new line don't go without a jam sandwich.